Now, I know everyone's familiar with this ad. We've all seen it at this point, but I'll play it here while I talk about it because it turned out that this ad in itself didn't actually do good for them. In fact, after this ad came out, Jaguar updated their sales for April 2025 in Europe. Their sales plunged 97.5% following this new rebranding. 97.5%. And I saw someone shared this in the X replies when I posted that. They said, yeah, this didn't age very well. The Jaguar ad was brilliant, and here's why. Now, it's on Medium, so like anybody can write this, but I just thought that was hysterical. First of all, I'll start by making it clear that I'm not just being a contrarian or writing this to oppose the consensus. I genuinely believe the Jaguar ad was brilliant. And ladies and gentlemen, we have found the modern audience, and apparently it's Ro the Nerd, who says, I swear I'm stupid, but people say I'm super smart. I swear I'm the life of the party, but people say I'm an introvert. I only publish 0.05% of what I write. He says I'm stupid, but people say I'm smart. No, he's very stupid, and he actually is so dumb that he surrounds himself with idiots that tell him he's smart. So at least he knows that he's stupid. Before I start, I'd table my personal preferences. I hate that they're doing away with the Jaguar head insignia. Okay, that's good. As a matter of fact, I preferred it. But now that my personal preference, marketing and advertising isn't based on personal preference as a marketer. It's based on the business strategies. I can't count on one hand the number of times I've seen great results from running an ad I didn't personally like. Before you ask why I'd run an ad I don't like, consider that I perhaps am not a representative of the target audience. Exactly. This leads to my first point, and perhaps the major reason why a lot of people think the ad is terrible. We're all assuming we understand the marketing direction behind the campaign, and perhaps we are all wrong. Now, remember, this came out November of 2024, last year. So he was trying to take the artistic approach, like, oh, it's too smart for us. We'll get it in time, and people will look back at what a legendary ad that was. Meanwhile, in the moment, everyone's just like, yeah, no, that's definitely not ever going to happen. And here is the I found out from Charles Payne, who is I think is it Fox? He used to be on Fox, newscaster. He says, remember that Jaguar rebranding, the creepy one? Jaguar's April 2025 Europe sales plunged 97.5% from 1,961 units to just 49, marking a near total collapse during its rebranding phase. BMW, Mercedes-Benz, and Audi each retained market stability, selling approximately 50,000 to 75,000 units in April 2025 across Europe. So I will say the number, full disclosure to give both sides of this, the number is a little bit deceiving because obviously the branding did not go over well with the general public, but there is more to the story than just the branding. There's like a rebranding that Jaguar is doing. So they actually didn't produce a lot of cars because they're trying to make a dynamic shift into electric vehicles moving forward in 2026, I believe. And there's a story over here. I found this on Instagram. And it's from Cars. And it says, Jaguar's European registrations plummeted to a comical 49 vehicles in April 2025, a catastrophic 97.5% drop from 1,961 units in April 2024, as the British luxury brand undergoes a radical transformation into an all-electric marque. This dramatic decline reflects Jaguar's deliberate strategy of discontinuing nearly its entire lineup including the XE, XF, F-Type, E-Pace, and I-Pace, with only the F-Pace SUV receiving a temporary reprieve until the brand's electronic relaunch. So for the other side of the story, it's like, well, they didn't produce a lot of cars either. In fact, only one of all of them was made, and that was made in a limited quantity. But you could also argue there's not much demand for these cars either, because they weren't like, oh crap, we're losing out on sales. And they didn't push anything out. They just kind of sat back and nothing came out outside of the SUV. Whoever the CEO is definitely needs to be fired yesterday. CEO Adrian Mardell's admission that existing Jaguar models generated close to zero profitability explains the company's willingness to essentially pause operations for over a year. The brand won't introduce new models until 2026, starting with the controversial Type 00 electric Grand Tourer, priced above what's that, 100,000 pounds, targeting ultra luxury buyers rather than volume sales. I mean, this looks like a PS2 car from Grand Theft Auto. Like if you saw this driving around in GTA 3, I'd be like, I guess it looks like a luxury car, but it also needs better graphics. Despite Jaguar's near disappearance from showrooms, parent company Jaguar Land Rover posted a record 2.5 billion profits in 2025, driven entirely by Land Rover's success with the Defender, Range Rover, and Range Rover Sport. This financial cushion allows Jaguar to execute its high-risk reinvention strategy, gambling that affluent buyers will embrace their polarizing new design language when production resumes. So again, if you just hear the 97.5% drop, you're going to say, oh my God, they're done as a company, which, I mean, I still kind of feel like they are, let's be honest. But the full story involves, well, they stopped production because they're working on reinventing themselves. And that ad was predating when they actually came out with these cars. It says Jaguar just had the most embarrassing sales month in automotive history. They sold less cars than a small dealership. Only 49 new Jaguars were registered in Europe during April 2025. Catastrophic 97.5% drop from the 1961 units in April 2024. This represents one of the most dramatic sales collapses in automotive history. I mean, I like the wing doors. I don't know about the style itself, but the wing doors are pretty cool. I like the color a lot too. Those numbers aren't necessarily shocking considering Jaguar has deliberately discontinued nearly its entire lineup and won't launch new models until the Type 00 electric Grand Tourer arrives in 2026. However, it's still shocking to see considering their sales figures just 1 year ago. Jaguar is betting everything on a radical reinvention targeting luxury electronic buyers with vehicles priced above 100,000 pounds. The brand has a lot at stake, and whether it's able to survive this new direction remains to be seen. Now, as someone who is the owner of a Tesla, I love my Tesla. It is the cheapest Tesla. It's a Model 3. The bare bones didn't even come with carpets on the floor when I bought it. Had to buy those post aftermarket. And it's an amazing car. And I think I got it after the tax kickback or whatever. It was, I think, around $35,000 out the door after the tax incentives, which was a lot of money for a car. Don't get me wrong. I mean, nowadays it's not, but back when we bought, that was like 3 years ago now. Back when we bought it, that was a lot of money for a car. It's still a lot of money for a car now, but I'm just saying a lot of cars cost that now, which is crazy to me. But looking at how much I love the Tesla, I would definitely, if I was a luxury car buyer, I would definitely be looking to buy a nicer version of it. I don't necessarily look at the Jaguar as something that would be competing with years of experience in electric vehicles like Tesla. But you never know. They could shock the world. But the way I'm looking at this, I'm like, yeah, no, not holding my breath. This is going to flop so hard. It's like the Homer Simpson cucaracha car that put the company out of business with his brother. because it's too much money for what you're getting. And I think the first time someone sees one of these on the road, they're going to roll their eyes and be like, who the hell would buy that thing? In which case, that's probably exactly why people would buy it. Just for that, I'm the only one with this car shock value. But anyways, I'll leave that one there.